upper bracket winners match. I'm Mitch, with me is Tom.
Captain, where the fuck are you at, bro?
Say, it's great to see BBL down there on the international stage. They fought so long, they
should the coaches just be a part of Walkouts?
And now it's their chance to prove that they deserve this spot.
Like the head coach?
I feel like they've been on the cusp all year, and now they sort of get that, probably the matchup that they would have desired most, facing off against the Clout squad of Sentinels, a team that has always been in that sort of upper stages of international events over the last couple of years.
I hope we change our comp.
High amounts of firepower.
We don't have a duelist on Icebox.
We are in the best of one stage, so that's for me where things are. I know. You're sat there
and balls on Icebox.
They're not very good in like, tournaments. I love it.
Hopefully we got second on Jet now.
You get these upsets, you get these moments. We've just seen Billy almost managed to take the victory versus Paprex. We've seen obviously G2.
Am I gonna watch 100 Thieves?
Get
You
beaten
bet
by
your fucking little ass I am.
And I would say this is another match where I look at it and go, okay, are Sentinels favorites? Do they have the experience? Of course. Could
NRG play
do some damage here? Maybe steal a map with a couple of pistols. Who knows what will happen?
Oh, absolutely. A solid squad when
it
comes to
after
those
this?
opening rounds in the half. And look, both of these teams, when we talk about their Icebox, the map that we're going to see this battle go down, they've been running the Tahoe. We're in that meta now where Tahoe's not
so we're going to watch
viable.
NRG
There's
next.
Going to be changes, and getting to see the identity that they're bringing down to that stage is going to be exciting.
And then we'll probably watch Gen G,
EDG. They're always in the upper echelon.
And we'll
Maybe
skip
Toronto wasn't what they wanted, but they went out to two of the best teams within the tournament.
We'll probably skip PRX Carmine
this isn't a squad
and
to be
watch 100 Thieves
underestimated.
Fnatic.
They might have bombed out of the tournament, but you've got to
so I'm
look
going
at the
Sentinels
and
to
here,
NRG
a big test
to Gen G
BBL
to
on
100
that
Thieves.
international scene, facing off against like for
That's what we'll do. And then after this match, if Sentinels are still playing at this point, if I'm too cooked, I'm going to sleep, pointing my camera at my bed, and letting you guys watch together.
We can't have ourselves, or we don't want those extra initiators anymore. Let's go double controller, bring the Jet
right now it's 4
a.m.
I'm on 3 hours of sleep.
Putting an Omen in, but in replace of
Wait, Zekin's on the Jet.
Instead, they've got the duelist, they've got that battle, and I'll be honest, this is the battle I wanted to see most for these two teams, is 11 on the Jet, Zekin on the Jet. I think it's going to be a banger when
I'm running an ad before the game starts.
Playing an agent that they are sublime at, but then you have different
Cac W if you're watching the ads.
Where John QT, I think in the past had pretty decent stats when playing the Senti. Initiator, he's in that more supportive role. Now he has a bit of a mix, has the chance to flex, and then on the other side, Sociable, if anybody's going to drop 40 in a game for BBL, it's normally him, which doesn't make a lot of sense when you look in playing a Sova or at times these more, like I said, supportive agents. But when he's hitting,
Rob is also there with the team.
He's one of those players that I'm really going to focus on.
I'm going to ask him if there's a crowd.
To be good. If you've not seen him before, fantastic individual. I think Magnum as well is a fairly stable player in that bracket. I'm looking at Sociable because he could be the guy that is their best player, or he's a little bit further down the board.
Well, like last time they played here, obviously on the Tahoe, like you said, you have to be that little bit more passive. You've got that stall utility, you've got that post
let's see how center looking.
My man wasn't involved in a single opening.
Let's see how center looking. I don't know how good BBL are. Can anyone gauge how good BBL are?
Freed up to have more of that individual performance. And I think looking at Sentinels and how the desk talked about them, they're spot on. It's not just about Narrate. I think it was Device said that, right?
They're pretty good.
Narrate's an unbelievable player, but it's not just about shutting it down. It's an easy win. There's so many more strong players on that roster.
I think he said Zekin, but then name Narrate.
Oh, sorry. But either way, you then look at BBL. They have that same depth to fall back on.
For sure.
It's not
They're the
just
fourth
one player
best team in
having a quiet
EU.
Day is the end of their run. They've got a talented bench there. So many
can I get a happy birthday to me?
Be exciting to see
Vire of X. Usually I would ask you to verify that, but we're going to go on a whim here and assume it's your birthday. Happy birthday, Vire.
Your map pick or a middle ground later on. It all comes
I hope
down
you have a
to
great birthday.
I also look at both these teams for a similar reason of, firstly, you look at the coaching staff, especially with the changes to BBL. I think you have two very sort of analytical minds with decent support staff behind them. But I also look at them as people who will enjoy crushing other teams' keys. Like, I think you put the likes of a Zelsis or a Yumpy, and you go, yeah, if
Admin's
you win
like, water on the floor? How many fucking times did I tell you?
They're like, that's my favorite part of the whole event. I'm going to enjoy that more than anything else. So I think that that's going to be fun to see later on. Of course, if you've not seen as much of EMEA and you've not seen what Yumpy's been doing, he's very loud. He's screaming so much that we had to turn the volume down because he was deafening us. And I think you look at the other side, I don't even need to talk about what Zelsis is going to be doing.
Oh, fuck. Is there no Preds?
What Zelsis is going to be doing. So
there is.
I think this is going to be some standing up, some
Preds
fun.
are up, Golan.
And hopefully
here we go.
Soon we will be getting back into things. And there you go. Timer ticking. We're good to go.
That's what I like to see, Tom. Right into the action. Sentinels and BBL fighting it out on Icebox.
Here we go, chat. Sentinels
will face
opening
an
game.
elimination matchup tomorrow. That's not really where you want to be at right off rip.
Winner plays later today, loser plays tomorrow.
As the timer ticks away, it is Sentinels who will be mounting an attack and clearly looking to isolate Mag.
That's always the
fucking
value of being on that attack side, looking to try and get off to a solid start, but already Magnum just taking that initial fight, swinging to make sure they have the advantage early. Narrate looking for a little bit of gymnastics to try and get them back into the round. Unfortunately, though, they are falling like flies. Celsius, the last man standing to try and face off versus 3. And we mentioned that pistol hit rate for the side of BBL. Well, it's looking pretty good right now.
Well, it's all about that deep push on B. The information they had already had Yumpy rotating in. He hit a fantastic shock dart onto Bang, who was already desperately low before he walked through the Viper wall.
Wish you guys also some McDonald's sponsorship.
Bad to worse. The spike down, it's not looking great. Zelsis gonna go on the big wrap though, all the way around. Previously spotted on A main and hopes to have the element of surprise, but there's no one exposed to that rafters angle. He's gonna have to drop down. It'll be heard. Levin will have to be contended with, and even then, there's only 25 seconds to retrieve that spike and get it planted. This should be BBL's pistol round, locked in as expected.
Yeah, he's hoping there was someone left in the open, and well, eventually he will find him, but Levin's going to win that fight anyway. BBL off to that strong start that they were looking for. I will say that the only critique I have at the stage, I know someone in production is probably panicking right now, but it's actually more to do with the NEA. I see someone going red and I panic. Like, it's like, it's so scary to me. I'm so EWA cord, it's like, red? That means technical pause. No, we can't have
Please up the
it's
volume.
actually just, it's a red versus blue. It's a really cool looking stage. I'm sure over the next couple of days I'll get that panic out of my system, but for now at least, solid start. And I think that's going to be important. That's the other thing you have to bear in mind with best of ones. You win both pistols.
Okay, here we go.
And you're in a very, very good spot. I'm off 11. He's looking to try and kick things off with a few extra orbs.
Poison's gone.
And there's one already.
Yeah, he's out for free. And those rotations really
Wall's down. Bang died.
Previous round. They're on it
we got
again here.
Though.
As Spike goes down, there's already 2 players detracted. Now another falling, and the numbers flooding back into this B side for the defensive side. Yet to even lose a player, and they've got that ghost to fall back on. They can recover a weapon potentially, and that is going to be picked back up by Yumpy. So losses here minimal, and this is a wonderful start.
Tarik is secretly rooting
for BBL.
Not really.
Yeah, solid stuff. Of course, an extra plant for Sentinels,
quite.
so it's at least a little bit of extra credit so they can throw in. They didn't really spend anything into this round, so you come out with a kill on a plant. It doesn't look great, but it's absolutely fine. And now as well, we'll get to see the 4 rifles coming in for this squad. Of course, like, you go back and you look at both teams, in fact.
NA has lost, G2 lost 13-6.
When it comes to Icebox.
Yeah, but they don't have their team.
Again,
they're playing with a sub.
Because I think when looking at the veto initially, I was like, if they're going to go for a strong map, we maybe end up on a Pearl. I think both teams are great at Pearl, but I can kind of understand.
Okay, let's see. First bonus.
For either side, it would be more of a risk. And maybe this was their sort of surprise factor. 11. Already going walkabouts, looking to get up in their face. I don't know if they'll expect this straight away, but Bang wins the fight anyway, and JonkQT does as well.
It is a bold play to go for that push, outlaw in hand, up against full shields. I mean, he needed both shots to connect there. And obviously, it hasn't worked out. BBL, now it comes down to damage. Players like Sociable and Magnum alive, sure, you could still see them winning this round, but Sociable's been tagged up heavy. And Sentinels are on their way towards him. Nice little angle above the smoke, but dealt with quickly. We look to Magnum. He's recovered himself a Vandal. Can he find a couple of kills here to put a dent in that Sentinels economy?
The thing is, Sentinels are being incredibly methodical. Drone used just to make sure if any surprises were left on the site. He's quite far away. And as you said, with a gun in hand, isn't that much value in overfacing here. At minimum, of 3 players probably going to be surviving. Well, in the end, it is Bang to close out with a triple kill. Solid buy round coming through for Sentinels, and now is where things will get that little bit more interesting. Of course, some weaker weapons in there for BBL. They tried something incredibly aggressive, and I like the fact that, as I said, when it's these sort of games, you're going to take risks. You're going to do things that try and get you that little bit of an extra bonus in some of the earlier rounds. But Sentinels are very well prepared. Like they were not caught off by that whatsoever.
Wait, his POV is so loud.
That was, as I said, a bold play.
Bang's POV is so loud.
With the rifles in hand, it's going to be a different story.
Okay, first gun round.
Excited to see
no ops.
In these buy rounds is 11 already top of the board for BBL, up against Zek in that head-to-head. And look, he's getting aggressive again. Not lost any confidence off that early fight. They've cleared Yumpy, they've cleared Sociable. And that smoke, it's given Levin a little angle to play from. He's good for the first. Not quite able to follow up, though. The smoke blocking him out from that angle. Drops down below, though. Good swing. And another falling. The thorn in the side, in the back, in fact. And this is
what has happened?
Turret finding one onto Bang. This round, very much up for grabs for BBL, despite that double opening from Sentinels.
It's giving me flashbacks to when they managed to beat Fnatic on Abyss a while ago. They're just getting in their faces.
I'm scared.
Super
I'm scared.
Aggressive, super off kilter, trying to surprise them as much as possible. Even still, though, they've ended in an even scenario. Sentinels have managed to cling on even while leaving a pretty big gap behind them.
I'm scared for Zelsis. I'm scared for Zelsis.
They're about to walk through the smoke. They know he's on the other side. He turns at the perfect moment.
What the fuck? Zelsis chill, bro.
It took 4 rounds.
These guys are Turkish. They will pull up on you. Actually, they're not Turkish. Never mind. Only a couple of them are. Never mind. Go ahead, Zelsis.
To get them that little bit of extra space and time to get the plant in, and catching both players on the walkthrough.
Wait, he tanked the molly, John.
Backing him up too. That angle was being covered, and just a shame that Levin wasn't able to follow up quickly. But still, he did so much by re-aggressing down below, by picking them off, by putting the pressure on. But it's not enough. And with a performance like that, the momentum definitely in Sentinels camp. That leaves BBL without a lot to work with in this round. Sure, they've got that Guardian that's sounding off.
Xbox 360 mic is crazy, but
everyone
accurate.
else is on pistols. Levin has got the Blade Storm to fall back on if they want to invest it here.
He's got the light shields. It seems like it is definitely part of the plan. Maybe hoping that Prophet can do a little bit of damage first before he goes for the style points. And there you go, it is in play. I feel like Zekin's been caught quite often in these scenarios, but the shot's not connecting.
Oh my god, so aggressive.
The trade outs with those rifles going well. Eventually, Levin will pick up another, and Magnum with one more. The problem, though, is Levin so low on HP that even with those few spanners thrown into the works, Sentinels, again, they managed to stick the landing.
And now they're streaking those rounds together. Now they're looking confident down on that stage. And you look to the other side.
So if Sen win, they play again today in a BO3.
Had some opportunities
if Sen lose,
but this round
they play tomorrow elimination BO3.
Completely. Ults will be coming online. Rifles will be in play for them. You can see Magnum's got that lockdown.
Why do they use that high angle? I can see Zelsis' M hairline so clearly.
Not an easy counter available.
Why did I read that out loud?
To get rid of that lockdown. And for Bang, who's coming in with Viper's Pit, you can be pushed out of that very easily. So there's no easy win for Sentinels here, and it looks like BBL have got plenty to fall back on. This is the round that they need to take it across the line. What was that? John QT thought he could sense a gap, but
you know what he was trying to do?
I
think I've literally had this conversation with John, but like Omen TPs are very hard to hear on LAN.
A lot of these early fights,
especially if you're in an arena with a crowd.
Again, it seems like BBL have adapted.
I wonder if he was trying to like use that to his advantage while his teammates made noise on A. This doesn't look that great this round.
While the remaining players are still around this angle, they're looking for the fight. Narrate has at least been able to bring one back, but loses half his HP for it, and still being spotted with Spike in hand. That is a lot of information. Then also just look at the position of Levin. He's back in towards the spawn, just making sure that if they try and fall back and rotate, there's nowhere left to go.
Yeah, just locking it down with that op in a nice passive position. Spike is tapped. It draws Sociable into the open. The reveal fired deep. It's not going to catch now, right?
What the fuck?
So he gets the jump on Yumpy.
30.
3 more to take down.
Flank.
11 on his way up to belt.
You heard him?
That's a big danger.
Wait, you can kill him and run B or no?
Pretty good idea. I don't know if he heard a step. It certainly seems like he did. He is locked in, trying to clear him out, but the op shot lands for Levin. A round for BBL, much needed. I do like the idea from John QT to start this out. Maybe there's a gap and I can get past the turret, but looks a bit silly when there's someone just stood there watching him.
Yeah, it's almost definitely based on like reads from the last couple of rounds. Yeah. Like, okay, they haven't really been
this is a BO1.
This so much. If there has been someone there, they've been playing alongside the turret, so maybe I can claim some space while the rest of the team goes towards A. But instead, Magnum just stood there looking at him like,
my goal defending bad plays, brother. There's no crowd.
What are you thinking?
Already, a competitive matchup. As I said, I think BBL are one of those squads that, although we've not seen them in terms of the international stage, they're a roster I'm excited for. I've enjoyed watching them all season. And I don't think Sentinels will be a squad to underestimate them either. Lockdown going to be used very early. Maybe expecting this to be a spring-loaded push, aggressive into A.
Wait, why the fuck did the defender KJ ult be planted?
Bladestorm, so it's not too much damage.
Who the fuck defender KJ ulted? Why?
All it's really done is slowed them.
Am I tweaking? I didn't see it.
Given time for 11 to completely take control of B once again, and so they can stack this side of the map.
Yeah, they're getting a good flavor profile, if you don't know BBL, into their aggression with Levin, and now with Yumpy and Magnum, the push-up after the lockdown had cleared so much space. They wait, and just as Sentinels are about to go for that execute, they are pounced upon. Now, the advantage is down to just one player. The Bladestorm already claiming a life, and Sentinels looking to fight their way forward. This spot is very good. They've got so many numbers to clear out. They've got to get through Magnum's Killjoy setup, already detecting players down below. Sociable with a cheeky jump up on pipes. And this has left it again all onto Zelsis.
Nice shot.
1 versus
flank,
2
flank,
now with Magnum falling and Sociable wildly low. Levin's cleared it out in the end, but that was outrageous.
I don't know if that was... I think he was trying to fake the sound of him dropping and got a kill for it.
He got the corner, yeah.
That's crazy. Luckily, Levin had made his move, because there's a very real world where Levin goes, I'm actually just going to chill.
He shot to fake noise. I think you're actually right. I think he was trying to mask his drop. No, you're wrong.
Like, that very nearly
he would not shoot
turned the round on its head. And Zelsis has been having a fantastic game so far. It also means that for BBL, even though they're winning these rounds, their economy is still on the ropes, and that's why you're still seeing Sentinels come in with buys and kind of risk it here, especially when you look at how many ultimates they've got available. It's worth the risk.
But that lockdown burned up from Magnum in the previous round. Now Bang has a lot
more
value to bring to the table. This guy's incredible. How many rounds? Most of them. You see him go for these aggressive pushes. He wasn't scared to do it with an outlaw. So of course he's not afraid when he's got the op in hand. This is what I'm saying.
Wow.
You know, if you haven't seen BBL before, 11 might catch you off guard. This guy has nothing but a W key.
Yo. Like they genuinely tell him, the coach and stuff, just like, press them. If you die, we'll play 4v5. That's fine. But we keep getting aggressive, keep putting pressure on them, keep making it awkward for them to go for these opening battles, because normally space you'd have for free has already been claimed. Now, for now, at least, it seems like Sentinels are trying to sell this as a bit of a ruse. 2 players currently over on that east side of the map, and it's a huge kill coming in for John QT. That is now Levin gone, and because of that, the B site is open for business.
I mean, it comes off as ironic that
we have KJ ult for post.
Loses that fight is when he's trying to back off.
Plant the KJ ult. Zelsis KJ ult right away.
On the way back around yellow, he
KJ ult, I don't give a fuck, use everything.
Like we said, you don't have what you need to clear them out of that pit, really. This becomes an uphill battle. And the lockdown thrown in. Sentinels want this round badly. And they're pushing forward in the pit, too, just for a moment. Zelsis was looking for the fight.
BBL should save.
Determining that they're not on the defuse, they're not putting that pressure on. It's not coming near half. And with the time now running down, you have to think that maybe they'll go for the save. Maybe they'll give up at this point. Fighting through the pit's not going to be easy. John QT's locking down that side angle. Doesn't see Sociable, but still, the time is too low.
I can't believe they went for that.
To fight back against,
time was so low.
Pit made this round impossible. Great ultimate usage from Sentinels to secure their fourth.
Nice shot from John on the upper. That was the biggest kill.
You have to bear in mind that From the Shadows was available, so if they instead got the opener
that was a cinema round.
The spike could be easily taken back over to the other side of the map. But also, it's just a read on the economy. As said, like, it's only been a single player in the last round surviving for the defenders. So although they have a few extra credits in the bank, I don't think it's enough to come in with a 4-buy here. So, okay, you expend a couple of high-value ultimates, but if you fully reset your opponents or force them, as you can see, into a really weak purchase, those ultimates are very well spent, and you have to bear in mind that it's not like there's a load online for BBL. You've just used them at the perfect time. So Sentinels managing their ult economy almost to perfection, and now you're going to need some hero plays for BBL if they're going to do much in this round.
Well, you've already seen how dangerous it can be with those pistols. It was Magnum picking up a bunch, and they've got the read. 4 players rotated into position. Last time that they were in this kind of position, Levin at least had that Blade Storm. This time, that's not the case. But Yumpy manages to pick off one before going down. The problem is Profek falls with him. And now, this round looking a whole lot easier for Sentinels with Sociable dealt with Magnum swinging Classic in hand. No idea there's a player behind him. And Levin will be the man to do it all. A rifle in hand, a kill picked up.
He's
running for the hills. Could just be the save angle.
Yeah, he was one of the players I was most sort of excited but nervous to see going into this event. Playing on the international stage, a fairly up and down.
Oh my god, it's like he felt him looking at him.
One that sort of lives by the sword, dies by the sword. Like he's going to go
going
running
for
and
it.
get
Is it smarter to
still
save?
Now, I think they've got the extra credits.
Oh no, he's going to get an op next round though.
The damage would be nice. Bang is going to make sure that it doesn't go any further. But yeah, also just with the change of coaching staff, although like we know Pal quite well. I know that he's good at his job. It's more so that Turkish connection. Like you have that sort of Turkish coach to give maybe that little bit of an extra boost to someone like Levin or, of course, Sociable as well. But at least right now, it doesn't seem like there's been any real effect. He's having a great game. Sure, they are currently down at least a little bit, but I don't think they'll be too worried about it. We've seen a lot of teams have real strength going into that attack side. Obviously, I think adding in the secondary controller should help the defense just a little bit more, but for now at least, it is going to be a timeout called by the side of BBL.
Yes, they've taken a moment to gather themselves here. It has been a close affair so far in this half, but still the danger that their opponents run away with it. We've already seen that streak of rounds coming in from the opposition. You can see Pal waffling away there, working the box. And this is their moment.
For sure. The music makes me feel like the score of the game is like 12-11. Really, it's like 5-4.
We've seen some attempted aggression out of Levin in the majority of rounds, and I wonder if that will be a facet here, or if we'll see a more tamed and controlled version of this BBL defensive side. For Sentinels, well, they're asking themselves the same question. So far, we came in, we talked about Zekken versus Levin. It's night and day. Levin 12-6 in his international appearance.
Hi man, it's the first time that I see you. Tell me, why do you think you're so popular and why I have to remain here to watch you? I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, bro. I'm just watching the game.
And of course, he is keeping up the aggression, looking at walking it down, but the paranoia perfectly timed. He's sent back.
Loon is getting aggressive.
Where is he going?
No way.
Tears were caught over the top. Fear was not ingrained into this man, and the defense from Profek, they tried this fake again.
He's shooting our body?
A little bit of BM.
He just doubled his kills that round. He had 2 kills before that round.
Emotion on his face when
he had 2 kills before that round. He got 4 now, and he's shooting our bodies.
Saltiness almost.
Nah, we'll keep it in mind.
But now at least.
It's not just the visuals. He reminds me of Hitman. He's got that
Zekken,
cool,
take care of these frauds.
Agent 47 approach, but there's some anger behind those eyes at times. And a 5v2 they've ended up in. It really does seem like you can delay Levin's aggression with some well-placed utility, with some ults, but you can never stop it.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting going into the defensive side. Well, Zekken literally has to check every single angle just in case that Jet is wandering about.
30 seconds left.
Whoa.
A little bit of a
movement
to get himself out.
We have a free set on A.
Site.
Hey.
So
I'm testing.
Are you testing? I'd be quite surprised if Yumpy overfaces in this scenario. Not really any necessary means to go for a fight and try and give them the potential of getting back into the round, having to try and avoid all of that extra utility. And Zekken on the other side is thinking, okay, I need to get aggressive here. I need to get in their face and do something. And they have run out of time. The delay actually works out wonderfully. Profek even picking up the operator at the end and putting it to good use. And BBL are right back on the horse.
I heard that tap go in like 5 times. They just couldn't find the chance to stick it. Shock darts flying in and trying to force that fight didn't work out. I thought that maybe we were seeing some of these issues like Levin there getting over aggressive in the 5v2. This mid push ended up dragging Yumpy off site, which gave that little bit of space for the plant to come through, but well, the plant didn't come through, and BBL end up with the round as a result. I believe a timeout now called by Sentinels as they look to have a moment to touch base before this half gets out of hand. Because BBL, you know, although there's been momentum there for Sentinels here and there, BBL have been hot on their heels, indeed taking the lead at 4-3.
Well,
there's solutions to be sought.
There's also just a couple of things that need to be mentioned. One is, of course, the group. Like, I think you look at XLG, even though they come in as like the technical #1 seed, I think at least when you look at China as a region, you don't know where they necessarily sit, looking a little bit shaky. And then you got DRX, who again, they come in as one of the lowest seeds, but they always seem to be dangerous. Like we joke about that.
Am I streaming all the matches?
Team,
I'm streaming as long as I can, and then I'm going to sleep.
If you're coming out and making it into playoffs, that's a pretty decent running. So it's definitely going to be interesting. The other thing as well for Sentinels is the bigger picture. They're them being one of the partner clubs. Like they are not just playing for themselves. They're not just
playing. Can I play CS after? Did you hear anything I just said?
A little bit of extra cash or go for the trophy or whatever you're looking at.
Does this fucking microphone work or is it a fucking prop?
Club trophy as well, as Sentinels are one of those squads. So there really is that additional little bit of pressure put onto the team of Sentinels, and they wanted to make sure that, okay, this best of one can easily get out of control, especially if BBL come in with a victory in the defensive half.
Well, that's exactly it.
Imagine being this rich and sleeping.
The 7-5 half. Now Magnum taking a risk. He sat inside that orb, eventually backs out. They've got to pick the prospect. So there's no need to panic, no need to worry. And as you said, that outlaw's so very dangerous towards Snowman. So they're trying to fight in towards Orange. This wraparound from John QT expected, but he's only traded out in the 8. The numbers still favoring the defense.
Damage?
Sociable losing.
Holy fuck.
Quite a lot of his health. I guess just trying to gain that little bit of extra space, still having that
holy fucking damage
man advantage, at least for now. And in terms of the ultimates, they're firmly in their favor. There's not much for SEN to play with other than their wins. Well, their wins are not about them. How has Sociable come away with that one?
No one's watching.
He tanked half of his own HP on a snake bite and then walks in and just wipes the whole team.
No one was watching, Tom. The yellow player was tucked. The players in main were looking the other way. They were both looking the other way. You gotta wonder what was going through their heads. Look at that! They're lined up, watching the same angle, and Zelsis is hiding.
We saw it, man!
That's disastrous. After a timeout. Plant down, that's how they end up losing it. That's gotta be heartbreaking for Sentinels. And you're sat there as the coaching staff watching that unfold, just heads in hand.
Can I just say shout out to the production team for muting Yumpy's mic? Because it's early in the day. We got a lot of best of ones. We got best of threes coming as well. I did not need to be deafened in my first cast of the tournament, so I really appreciate you for that. I'm sure you had to suffer through the volume, so yeah, I appreciate it even more. Viper's Pit used immediately, but I like this from Jug QT. He's tried to teleport behind. Profake has gone chasing, but he's been paranoid, and now he's lost
what a play.
Viper's Pit and
what a play by John.
He's been
fuck, Profake, shoot our fucking bodies again, you pussy.
After a blip in the last round, they're right back into this one. Man advantage to start, and Leopard's already very low.
Oh, Yumpy, rifle out just in time, but Zelsis still catches him. This was a fumbled previous round by Sentinels. Not to say they would have won it, but they would have stood a better chance if they were watching for the push. This time, they most certainly are. And with the advantage already theirs, they lose the rate. Going through the smoke, find another onto Zek, and this is starting to get a little bit spooky, a little bit scary, as they now look to get that defuse. Well, not even halfway, actually. They're tapping it to bait them into open combat. Magnum finding one on the trade.
Zelsis, you fucking dirty fucking dog.
With a quad kill to close out this half and leave
I never thought
I'd
see the fucking day, but we need him. Holy shit. He's looking at him, he's plugging the bundle. We can't see your POV, you dickhead. Focus on the match. God damn this guy, bro. We're on break. Fuck. What's happening on the other stream? Who's playing here? Oh, DRX Chile. Thank you for the 2 years, bro. Thank you, dude. Thank you. Zero fucking zero. We're done with first half.
This series, it is a best of one, and the loser faces elimination.
Okay,
this
we're
is
live.
high stakes matchup. BBL mounting their attack.
I know, Zelsis is really impressed so far. Like, every single one of those kills as well,
fuck
they've
was
been
that?
like high impact ones. This is someone who is definitely putting up those numbers when they matter the most. For now, at least, a fairly open B site for them to look to. With Bang, well, he's now going to realize how far they've managed to get, but he can't really look to fight this. Just
Oh my god.
gonna
Oh my
try and play
god.
retake, but no, Magnum has
Oh
domed
my
him
god,
through
look
the
where
wall.
he is.
It's not a bad start. Levin as well, threading the needle.
Oh
He's
my.
caught one, looking the other. And he got there in the end.
Where did
Clean
that
from Profek with the double. I think that might have been a little more of a clean fight that Profek had. And Celsius now has to find 5, one-upping himself, closing out that previous
Fuck.
half. This one not
You know,
looking
times
very
are tough
likely.
when we fucking rely on
He can
Zelsis to
pad
take
the
us
stats a
home.
little bit, maybe earn an orb
God.
or two, but no, it's going to be
Damn
Magnum to
it.
close him out. Another solid round for BBL, and that's the thing. Mentioned it. When you're in a best of one, pistols go your way. It can become a very scary game
Nah,
very quickly.
low-key, Dex.
And although I think
It's
that
okay,
obviously we
it's
saw
early
the
days.
recovery coming out from Sentinels in that first half, and let's not count them out by any stretch of the imagination.
Remaining.
It's always going to be difficult when you're playing up against that boosted economy, those boosted rounds already.
Well,
First
this is
2
it. This is
days,
what
there's no
BBL
crowd.
do, finding that
Got the
leg
update
up
from Rob. And
to start out
apparently,
the half. We
there's a
mentioned it
team
coming into
lounge
the
with all
series and with both
16
pistols under their
teams.
belt.
I don't know what
BBL
that
set
looks
up
like.
with a big advantage.
That's
but
crazy. All the
Sentinels were
teams are
ones
hanging out in
winning
the
then,
same lounge.
as you
Imagine
can
the
see with
drama
an
in
even
there. I hope
half.
someone's vlogging it.
Majority of those rifle rounds. They managed to keep the economy modest as well of BBL all the way through. See if they can manage the same here. All classics for that defensive side. Not a round that you're going to imagine that there will be very much damage done by the defenders, but they'll look to use numbers to their advantage. They might not have the weaponry advantage in head-to-heads, but if they peek this
Eco for
together,
Sun.
maybe they can overwhelm them. And already you can see Sociable under a lot of pressure, but Levin there to help out.
You think Boosty was walking around the player lounge just fucking talking shit to everybody?
He really wanted to pad those stats as much as possible, but instead, he's given an outlaw to the other side, which is definitely a dangerous gun to put into the hands of the rate. This has gone from what would look like a very easy cleanup round to
Slyfly,
what
listen
could
to me,
be
bro.
incredibly costly.
Definitely striking
Me and you
fear
are,
into
we're
the
one,
heart of
bro.
Magnum here in that outlaw
Let me have
chime
this.
out on the other side with the half shields, but they're just going to buy time as Profek wraps his way all the way around. It's only a ghost to work with, and those players are already through
is
to
this
the A
winnable?
site. So his flank is going to be a little bit late coming through. Shock dart up top is good. That's Magnum that's tagged. It doesn't really help out with the outlaw fight. The reveal sent up and over. There's the info. Profek knows where to strike and when. Nicely done in the end by BBL, but some decent damage for Sentinels.
Yeah, at least they came in with 2 pistols, so realistically all they're going to do is upgrade to the rifle.
I like
so it could have been a
the
whole
like
lot
sand
worse,
slash
but
beige
you
color
see,
jersey.
You see the good and the bad of Levin. It's like he is incredibly skilled, but
I like the color
it
scheme
does
of the
lead
BBL
to
jersey.
overheat sometimes, and that was definitely one of them. Like gifting that gun.
It's got like green as well.
By the way, he didn't reload it. He just went for classic kill. But
he also dashed. He dashed through kitchen to look for that fight and spawn with a classic in hand. It is exactly what we're saying. We saw it in the 5v2 with the all pushing mid. We saw it a bunch of times so far. But
first
you also see the value that he brings by getting this.
You kind of need him to be that guy if they're going to win. Like,
exactly.
If he's playing passive and scared, they've lost. Like, it's already done.
Yeah,
I think that's where Sentinels win out. So you'll see that side and go, that was silly, but
mouse cursor?
It's sort of a necessary evil for BBL. They are going to be able to take this one over the line. Of course, coming in with a very good purchase.
Sending a new comp, not going to lie. This is a new comp.
They will still have the credits to buy into
Usually
the next,
we have Zekin on Omen.
Sentinels,
Now he's on Jet.
It's important to win this and win it relatively clean. The fight, though, is already going to go the way of Levin. That is the B-side defender of Bang gone, and then re-aggression on the other side. Narrate wins the fight, but he's desperately low. A good trade, though, out from Zekin, and doesn't want to take the risk when he gets caught on the fadeaway.
That's a big numbers advantage now
that
for
is
BBL.
So tragic.
And they look to group
he played
up
discipline and died.
Low
key and ranked, he re-peaks and one-taps that guy.
His teammate on the rotate,
he made the right
QT
play.
Won't be here for this fight. Zelsus has to
sucks.
stand his ground. That does well to start. But Levin up-drafting around, landing in his cloudburst, somehow wins that fight and goes out for more. This is what we're talking about. If anything, that should be an overheat in both of those fights. But he ends up winning them. A 3K and a round win for BBL as a result.
Updraft, flying through the air through a nano swarm that kills Zelsus, and then he sees the paranoia come through the wall, which, by the way, JunQT had to adapt to where he was putting it because he heard the dash and was like, well, this guy's trying to push me, knows he's coming, and Levin, it is like the turbo beat. It's the Turkish aim. Like, just, like, what do you even do? JunQT didn't even have time to react. Oh, wow, even gaining the confidence to start standing up. 9-6.
Can we get an op going?
They've not won it yet.
No, we're not even sitting for op, are we?
This has been a great showing so far from BBL. Well, it doesn't look like they're stopping anytime soon.
No, up against the pistols here should be an easy conversion. And for Sentinels, they've been the ones standing up. Zelsus especially looking across the stage. Both teams have gotten loud, but BBL have been focused on each other, on themselves.
Nice shot.
Now we've seen Levin sit down. He's letting them know. He's getting a little bit loud, a little bit rowdy. But let's hope it doesn't backfire here, because we've already seen one pick for Sentinels. We've seen the rotation come through. 4 players on site with pistols in hand. Yes, those weapons are weaker, but with the numbers advantage, we've already seen what that can do. They're going to push through this smoke together. A drone clearing this out, spotting these players. The paranoia not able to be capitalized on, and Magnum around the side able to pick off a few. The danger mostly dealt with.
You just see
Zelsus, he's having to check every angle on planet Earth. That one might be free though. Caught planting. Still doesn't have that weapon upgrade just yet. There might be one just a little bit further behind him. There was a death just a bit further back, but I don't think he wants to risk going all the way back to give up the position, and while he's already being swung on the other side, BBL not going to let that go any further, even though there has been damage done. And there was something that was talked a lot on the desk about, like, curses. It was mainly done by Device, and he was actually aiming to lose the half 9-3 so that then they could make the comeback and win. He actually said the player you need to look out for in this match is Zekin, and I wonder if he's cursed him instead, because he is not been having the greatest of days, and there's no question of the caliber
let's go now, let's go now.
If you came
we need to op on Zekin.
Okay, it's Levin, it's sort of rookie level Turkish player coming into the year nobody really knew anything about, versus Zekin, an MVP at a Masters event just last year. You'd kind of
my god, I just remember what happened to me yesterday in CS. Oh my god, that's unlucky.
It's been anything but.
Everything's unlucky, then at what point do we not blame luck?
Outside of
Chat, is unlucky or it is real thing?
It's
unlucky. It is unlucky.
Operator in hand.
There's no doubt in my mind you can say like some of these things are not unlucky. Sometimes you get multiple unluckies in a row. Oh my.
Any closer angles, although Narrate looking to
that's not unlucky. That was just not good.
The team play solid.
I don't know where John died.
One of them at least was reloading in that moment, and instead they've come out with a man advantage.
He's gonna walk
and
through the smoke.
Very aggressive spacing.
It's over.
He's hearing the steps, walk away and sociable. He's gonna get Bang instead. Bang is gonna be so confused, and then you're just gonna see the TP to the other side of the map. In fact, he's gone into the spawn.
Yeah, he stayed up close for this fight. That's a very aggressive round from Sociable, but you'd expect nothing less from this man. We talked about him not on that tail roll and how he can be freed up to take some of these fights. You can see him running away with this freedom. Zekin fires off, but now they know where he is, and they're not looking to let him get away. That's spam puts him down low. The operator,
you're right. They're getting twerked
even
on.
if they
Fuck
do
this
manage
shit.
to save it, it's 11-6, but BBL are closing in the walls on this man.
And the two players behind are going to be the nasty surprise. Magnum has slowly been clearing out angles, but he has missed one. The drop down. Oh, he spotted the operator, and that'll be all she wrote for the op for Zekin. And unfortunately, in terms of finances, they might not even get that in for the rest of the game. Like that's the thing. They either have to gamble it here, try and throw caution to the wind, or on the other side of things, they have to take an eco and play from 12-6 down, which I don't think anybody wants to be doing.
This is it here. I mean, Sociable being able to get that much freedom, winning his 1v1 as well then for his third kill of the round, and leaving Zekin all alone. That just was the round crumbling in their hands. Surprised here if we end up seeing a timeout. I see the timer frozen. It's a technical pause, but perhaps even coming out of it, Sentinels will want the moment. That's 5 rounds in a row now, and it's not like they've been down to the clutches. It's been like Zalsis in a 1v3, Zekin in a 1v4.
Shameless and what?
They have been ran all over.
Everyone else is doing it.
Yeah,
everyone else is doing it.
What you always want to see
when we do it.
Watching BBL play, it's that confidence, and like it genuinely has been filthy. Like Magna's been having a great game, sort of like just using the sort of craziness of the rest of his teammates. We will
maximize our stage time.
That I don't think Sentinels have really been able to deal with.
That's a promise.
And then
we're not getting off stage minimum 30 minutes fucking on stage.
Doing just mad shit. That's all I can really say. It's like, yo, I'm gonna throw down the smoke, and I'm gonna teleport into the smoke, and then I'm gonna run through the smoke, and I'm gonna kill you, and I'm gonna teleport where I think you might be going, and you're almost there, but it doesn't matter because I won the fight anyway. It's like, you can't base any synergy or plans or anything you're doing against this squad, because it's like, yeah, okay, guys, we're setting up for the retake. We'll let them have this. I'm dead. I'm dead. Yeah. Do you know that position you were just so genuinely happy 0.5 of a second ago? Someone has now pushed that. I don't think he was there before, but I don't actually know, because why would we be looking at that? Because they had a 4v3 advantage, but they don't care.
John's like,
it is definitely difficult.
John's like, these PCs are shit. You have anything else back there? He's like, no, it's all we got. John's like, okay, I'll try to make it work.
This series, you have to look at Sentinels as the favorite. North America's #2, losing to what, #1 and #2 place teams over in Toronto. Like, they didn't win a match, but they played against the grand finalists in both iterations. So for them coming into this, they should be favorites. And BBL, you know, we're big fans of them, but we've got that EMEA bias as well. Still, I think there's no way that you can look at BBL without stating them to at least be a dark horse in this tournament. And they have come through and delivered an absolute barn burner of a second half, at least, with 5 rounds in a row. Sentinels, their back is against the wall now, and we need to see them come out swinging, or this matchup they came into as favorites will be something they wish to quickly forget.
Yeah, there's some teams that you just think, firstly, will benefit from the best of ones, and those are the teams that are definitely underdogs, that still have that sort of flair and firepower and can pull out something a little bit cheeky. And BBL definitely fit into that bracket. So I think this was a decent time for them to have a lot of sort of break to reset and go for this. But I also do think, like, you look at them and, okay, sure, there's some very heavy hitters in this tournament, like the likes of a Fnatic who just finished second, who will likely want to come and get a trophy here just as a sort of like, okay, we can do it, we can get it over the line. But I think for a squad like BBL, there's also the added pressure of, okay, we were doing well. Like, we have managed to get ourselves into like that top 4, or even go back to kickoff, even making playoffs for the first time. That was a big deal for them, even though they've been so close before. So to then go, okay, we missed out by 1 match, making it to Toronto. We're going to get rid of our head coach. That is a bold strategy. And if you look at the responses from Turkish fans, that was the exact sort of response they gave of like, guys, this was going very well. Why was that the moment you decided to make the change? So now they have to stick the landing. They have to prove that, okay, Pal is that guy. Pal's the guy. Because, again, if you're behind the scenes, you know how good he is. If you're a fan at home, maybe you know he's solid. But you don't know. You look at them as a team, and you go, okay, you're getting rid of that guy. when we're doing the best we've ever done,
oh yeah,
you better be a great team at EWC, otherwise we're going to have some questions.
Well, that's it. I mean, this is a squad that, as we're not even talking about players, we're talking about organization, never seen the international stage before.
No.
Playoffs was something that they hadn't seen up until recently.
Wake up,
so
bro.
for them,
playoffs in Europe, I think we're specifying.
Exactly.
Like, in our region, they hadn't seen playoffs.
So for that squad to now come to this stage, make a change, and under-deliver, all eyes are on you, and they're not going to be kind. But already, you can see the promise. You can see the expectation that we've been delivering about this team in this scoreline, 11-6 against North America's #2, against the squad that took it close against two of the strongest teams at that previous international event. And now they're just a few rounds away from closing it out. The thing is, and this is another challenge for them, because we talk about, okay, you're coming up against international duelists, you're coming up against an extremely experienced team that have played against almost every.
Beyler dağılın lan. Maç sonu yazarız dağılın.
This tech pause as well, you got to see if they can have the wind still in their sails. Now, we've come out of the tech, and as expected, a tactical pause is called by Sentinels. This is their last one. They don't have much more time to put one in, even if they had another one. And this is a moment as well where Pal, sitting over as BBL's coach, will be attempting to, okay, we've had a little bit of a break, but we're 5 rounds in a row, and
everyone fucking
like, which honestly,
spread out. No, everyone like everyone chill the fuck out. We'll type at the end of the match. Everyone calm the fuck down. He's like trying to rally the Turkish guys. He's like, everyone chill out, bro. Like, wait until after the game, then we go crazy.
I think if you've ever had a conversation with Kaplan in your life, you're going to know he's one of the most intelligent minds we have in Valorant. I think he was on the desk very briefly over in Toronto. So I think that he is someone that you give him that little bit of extra time, that minute that he has to sort of try and talk things through with the squad, and it can change the game. So I think that obviously you look at this now and you go, okay, this should be a done deal for BBL. You get that hot start on both sides of the map. You get a bonus victory as well in the second half. They're using that momentum. I think they're also just catching Sentinels off guard with how aggressive they're being, because I don't think most teams would come in and have the sort of balls to be this disrespectful to their opponent in the way that they're playing, pushing when they have advantages, swinging in 2v1s. Like, these are moments that you go, okay, you believe that you are the sort of alpha dog in this scenario. And so I think that just having that little bit of moment to reset and go, okay, remember that okay, we can beat pretty much any team on our day.
Getting fucking
against like maybe a G2 regionally, we've had our struggles, or again, you mentioned it, they lost to a Paper X of Fnatic when it came to Toronto. So I think that just because this has been decently one-sided, especially in the second half, this little pause to the momentum.
Yo, Tarik, when is the return to the CS scene, bro? You still got it. Unk Valorant
sure,
isn't
they go into that lower
anymore.
bracket, but realistically, I think if it's an XLG or a DRX, they're still favored.
I'll show you guys my CS clip yesterday.
And without a doubt. And I think looking at BBL,
this is my favorite moment of playing CS yesterday with Summit and Shroud. Fuck, I think it's about to start. God damn it.
Even be that much of a shock, but the fact that it has been so dominant, that's really where I get worried for Sentinels. They need to find a solution.
All right, we need to start here.
There is an easy one. We've had that tack pause following the tech, and now we're back in that defensive side for Sentinels. The aggression that we've seen from BBL really not being matched, I suppose, in how Sentinels are playing here, much more reserved.
It's worth noting as well, there's pretty much everything on the table for Sentinels. Like, sure, Zekken has some extra credits, but they have put all their pennies into this. They're gambling on his Blade Storm being able to pad the gap, and thus far that hasn't really been the case.
Format is shit, and Mickey Mouse event
as well for 11. Of course, that was saved from the previous round, so a completely different avenue.
I'm saying this preemptively.
To deal with. And you can see how passively they're currently having to play on the B site. Nonetheless,
here,
space being garnered, but also The spike is currently going in the other direction. That's the more interesting part. They've sort of sold this
Contact
ruse so
play,
well,
bro.
sociable, managing to get the opener, but the players haven't rotated yet. They haven't stuck the landing. Zekken is still here with that Blade Storm, spotting them going for that late move towards the A site, and there isn't a lot of time. They don't expect Bang to be here. And while Sentinels just being that little bit more patient, not overrating or over-rotating, has left Levin solo.
15 seconds and an op in hand. They want to take that out of his hands. They want to have it perhaps for themselves. Coming into the next. Great shots by Levin. He's surviving still, and the dash draft gets him out. He's going to carry this forward.
That's got to be the worst spot to save from in the game. And in fact, he's actually thrown the operator away. I think maybe, again, wanting to be that entry point rather than having the op. So he's just gone, all right, I'm going to stick on a roof, pick up a gun, and then I'm right back into the next round.
I guess he didn't want the
out of there. He had 3 players swinging him all at once, pretty much, using his own cloudburst to isolate a fight in the second. Very nicely done. But Sentinels, they have finally cracked the code. They've got around.
That was good econ damage, actually, yeah.
Now it's all about
our money is
kind of
shit.
Their economy's going to look that little bit better moving into the next. They'll have some ultis to work with as well.
So sick.
I can't believe he got away with that.
Get out of my way.
Well,
okay.
Whether he wanted to or not, Zekken does end up with an operator. He's had to buy it. And now looks to be that lone defender of the B side, hoping that his individual firepower could take this one away. I like the fact that BBL as well are going back to just more direct. Like, they tried to throw a fake in. I don't think it's really been their style. That, though, a nice shot from Zekken, but there's no way out of there. Doesn't have anything that can match the blades.
Again, it's Levin winning that head-to-head, going deep as well. He spotted John
QT,
looking for another, and it's Bang up top that's in danger if he steps out.
But we know he's there. We know he's there. We know he's there.
But I like that Sentinels are sitting back.
Oh wait, good flank.
Read. Okay, let's leave Celsius to pressure behind, and they will get aggressive. They will make those mistakes. The Cloudburst, though, buys time. John QT now under pressure.
Nice.
Levin to pick him off. Not able to deal with Bang, though. Leaving it all into the hands of Yumpy, and he knows there could be a player coming up behind him.
KJ
I think he will have that information just from the sound being made. The reveal goes up. It's actually spotted both of them. That was desperately close. A shock dart bounce off. Bang, sticking it at least a half, sticking it all the way. Yumpy doesn't suspect it, and it will be right
good job, bro. Get the off. Get the fucking fuck.
Find the defuse. Nobody.
We have no money.
We have no fucking money. Side, but all they need is a round win.
Yeah, that's the main thing. Yeah, get the round.
We have no
money. They managed to win it out in the last and, well, hold on to a couple of guns this time. It's going to be that reset, and that's still an issue. It's still going to cause them problems economically. But this round, a lot of it just came down to quick timing on his re-swing after John goes down, and then also just having the gall to stick it out completely, get that defusal over the line, and trust in his teammate is enough to bring them within at least 3 rounds. It seems like we might just have ourselves a pause over on the other side. Of course, that is the last pause in regulation. Both teams have now expended everything they have, but it also gives another opportunity to Kaplan as well. So time to talk, especially with some of those rounds being probably a little bit closer than they would have liked.
He's also just having network problems,
especially at the end of that round.
I don't know. I think they're playing online.
I don't mind having an extra pause as well.
I think it's an online server.
Not for BBL. You can definitely understand.
Well, BBL coach mad. BBL coach mad.
This is somewhere that they now start to feel pressured. Sentinels cracking the code, and although none of them survived the previous, although it was close, the gap that they have, the lead, the safety net.
By the way, why are we not was our hockey jerseys only for Toronto? Like, we're not going to use it for the next events?
Just a 3-round
is it specifically only for Toronto? I thought we would still use it here.
For that defensive side, great for reactions, great for the retakes with the Viper's Pit and the lockdown. So a little bit of an uphill battle forming for BBL, who were previously
no, in the arena it's cold as fuck, they said. Wait, what?
A lot more. They lost Profek immediately. Great.
No, in the arena they said it's freezing.
He's really starting to find his form here.
Yeah, them putting him over onto the B site seems to be the change they needed. He's able to at least find them opening.
Under you!
Uh-oh. He's been caught on 2 different angles. He doesn't even realize it. And well, instead, Celsius has gone down as well. This seems to just be reaction after reaction. Sentinels trying to stem the bleeding, but instead they've ended up making it that little bit worse. Narrate at least will be able to find one. Magnum desperately low. Timing is going to be everything, and that was all too easy. But it now comes down to the man of the moment. He's been having a good couple of times.
I love you, Zekken! I love you! I fucking love you!
No! Realize realization of that flank coming in, and well, I think knowing maybe there's still a little bit to do. There's not even a reaction from Zekken. He's
no
locked.
joke. If I updrafted there and I saw both of them running, not looking at me, I might have fell out of my fucking chair before I shot a bullet.
Really finding his form here. That was a terrible first half from him. I think he was bottom of the server. Levin was dominating in all of those fights. To see him now finding the opening pick on
start shooting before I landed.
quickly reacting. Look at
Good
the
job,
clearing
bro.
mid, waiting for that rotation.
The way you have to whisper because
not
your roommates are
expecting
asleep.
such a brazen
Young
play.
is sleeping.
Levin still leading the server. 26
I am trying
kills on the
to
board.
be
But the gap
for
now
sure.
down to just 2 rounds.
I
Sentinels,
get carried away, let me know.
they're back in the action, back in the mixer. And it's BBL left with no timeouts left to fall back on, with economy running low and a solution desperately needed.
Oh, we saw this in our first A-Stream matchup. Billy running away with it.
Billy fucking
Of
Billy.
course, the champions of the last event. You'd expect them to win, and eventually they did. It just took them some time to get going. 8-4 down.
He doesn't know he's
been a little bit more than that. But
they don't know about
Omen.
Omen.
Be a tough one for BBL to take. You could see that sort of confidence growing with Sentinels. The pause
Good
definitely
shot.
making a difference. I don't know what words were said by Kaplan, but I think I could use them in my day-to-day life as well.
Nice narrate.
Another opening pick. This time it's narrate.
Why is it all? Why are the cats saying all? Why did they say all? Another opening pick. How does that work?
As they look for this A-side control, Viper's pick goes down from Sentinels, but so does narate. He's been picked off. This aggression from Levin working wonders. And if they clear this backside in time, they could isolate Bang outside of that pit. Few spams coming close, and indeed taking him down. An aggressive play by Sociable, and it's worked out. John QT dropping out of heaven. Will deal with Sociable. Will deal with Levin. And that's Sentinels back in with the advantage. They have to play against time with the spike.
Nice. They're gonna push. They're gonna push. Play slow.
It's a decent angle to play if they decide to concede the space to the lockdown for BBL.
It's playing a top site though. We have to smoke the
Need to
spike.
get the belt quick though.
They got to wrap back around, and it's the exact
Hey, where's it
spot
planted?
seemingly will be expected by the opposing side. Viper's pit available, but not really something they can do about this, and they've taken the low angle to just try and defuse. Needs to try and tap away, and unfortunately the shot's not connecting.
We got it.
The snake bite does
I was gonna talk shit, but then I thought we lost for maybe a second.
Losing players after time seems to be their story so far, but they are winning the rounds. They are climbing back into this one. And
they keep dying. I know our money is so bad.
Looks on the side of BBL. They were
our money is so bad. Every round we win, have 0 alive or 1.
Starting off this attack side, but as said, a Sentinel squad are never down and out until it is over. There is still a good chance they win this best of 1. And now, well, 1 round is all the difference.
It's so important as well that John QT gets both of those fights so clean. Not even a bullet landed. Otherwise, that snake bite would have taken him down. And somehow, with a stinger in hand, Levin's won that fight. The 140 tag, not enough.
I love that he has full shields and a stinger as
running
well.
Up, running up.
That's such an odd fight to go for. Magnum's now found another one. This should not be the way that they get to 12, but maybe even beaten by their own game. Sentinels have always been pretty good with the stingers. It's been an America's staple.
Planted.
And now John tries to level things up at least a little bit, but they're so far back into this round. And what's else is he's just going to scurry away.
It's over.
I mean, that is a surprise, an uppercut when you expected a jab. BBL come through, mixing up the economy. Full shields on a lot of players, stingers on most. Sociable in that late round, playing so aggressive up on top of the generator. And they've even thrown in the Viper's pit here. A little bit of an overcommittal, to be honest. The round was done, but you can't be too cautious in a round like this. Sentinels having climbed all the way back to a 1-round gap.
He tried speeding up on the Viper roll,
that stinger buy is what bests them and puts BBL onto map point.
If Sentinels lose here, at this point when, because there's no way we win this next round.
It looked
they
like
play
it would
tomorrow in elimination BO3 versus
BBL, the
question mark.
Close to taking it across
Dude, the stinger killed him from there?
You've just got to be seething.
Oh
You've got to be
my
absolutely seething.
God,
Because the other thing as well, though, is you understand the position of Zekken. You go, okay, they don't have many credits. They're all going to have themselves light shields.
Levin is 28 and 16.
They went in with the heavy shields, expecting that on the other side. It's a good read, but it also just has to be infuriating. You land the shot and still get punished. Now, Zekken is 1 away from having his ultimate. The main goal here is to get the orb, but I think he's realized, okay, I'm not getting in that. Man, I need the kill, and that's exactly what he found.
Wonderful opening. Levin, a little taste of his own medicine. The aggression that gets this Blade Storm online.
Everyone hold.
Still the weaknesses. Man advantage for Sentinels. 2 stingers to work with. Nice angle from Sociable. He's been so aggressive. You'll love to see him on this.
Everyone stop peeking. Let Zekken play,
Freeing
please.
him up a little bit to take some
Everyone
risks.
stop peeking. Let Zekken
and he's
play.
thriving under those conditions. Leaving it to a 4v4. The spike on its way to B. Sociable left here to try to buy a little bit of extra time, a little bit of extra space. But with just a sliver of HP.
They have KJ ults. Do they use it preemptively or post?
I guess there will still be another switch up. We saw Zekken over on this B site quite regularly.
Nice kill.
Something we haven't seen.
He was low. I
Is
don't
that
give a fuck
Killjoy
though.
setup instead. So the contact
Get ready to
already
pop
made
those
into
mollies,
mid.
bro.
That's a free kill for Zelsis. Then the alarm bot should give away the game. So now they can pull those rotations in. His goal just to try and delay as much as possible. Now bear in mind, Hunter's Fury and Lockdown are currently available for this attack inside. They have solid ults to play with.
Right above him. Zelsis is hiding beneath the bridge. And it's given to Rate the pick. Now down to a 4 versus 2. BBL.
Right here.
Not looking like they'll be closing it out right here and now, and Zekken puts the final nail in the coffin. It is 12-11 for Sentinels. 1 round left in regulation. We're going the distance either way. The question is, can Sentinels bring us to overtime?
Come on.
That would be the 2nd time on the A stream that we've seen it sort of fumbled by a squad so far in the lead. I'm a little bit surprised at the post plant here though from the side of BBL. Like, you have a Hunter's Fury and a Lockdown available.
1 enemy remaining.
Come on,
sure,
Zach. Come
I
on,
think
Zach.
there's the
Come on,
counter,
Zach.
at least to one of those, but I do wonder if playing a little bit more passively, maybe trying to get the pick onto Narrate. I think that was the goal. Maybe that would have turned the round on its head instead. While you look at the purchase they've got, there's a Bucky, but that is the secondary to the Blade Storm. And we've already seen them manage it once with these lower purchases.
Well, that was the round that they managed to break the win streak. The Sentinels
You should run.
doing it again, though. Not as easy when Sentinels are playing that bit more passive.
Save it for
caught out
right
in those aggressive angles.
When they tap that spike, I want you to rip it like you've never ripped it before, dude.
Yeah, they could have opted to break it with a Hunter's Fury. A lot of the time, that is the scissors
Spike planted.
Bro.
to the paper of the
We're not
lockdown,
ulting
but I
anybody?
guess just wanting to have it for the retake instead, maybe cause that extra little bit of disruption. There is the Hunter's Fury already being sent through. Levin up close to that Bucky is ever so dangerous, and they still haven't cleared him from this position just yet. But it's going to be bang with a quick turnaround. Magnum's still standing, has been able to find one, but he's the only one with a gun in hand. Everybody else struggling that little bit more, and so is he, it seems. Even still, though, again, the Sting is doing work. And now Profek just sitting back passively, not wanting this to happen again with the snake. 5 minutes through the wall to kill him off. It might have been a little bit close, but the time not even remotely.
And overtime, it seems to be the story of the A stream here. I know the B stream had a very dominant game. KC up against G2 with a stand-in. It was 13-6, but nothing but OTs when it comes to this
what a
matchup.
kill from Bang.
I think
what a
we
fucking kill
certainly
from Bang.
deserve
10
it.
HP,
Sentinels
dude.
look down and out at
What
one
a kill
point.
from Bang.
11-6 down. And they've managed to bring this all the way back to an OT. Again, I don't know what was said by the coaching staff. But whatever it was, words of wisdom certainly delivered at just the right time, and now you're seeing them back on their feet.
Let's go, boys. Let's fucking go.
Again.
Word for word, I got
back
it.
to even footing. And it will be the attack side mounted by Sentinels, somewhere that they've been a little bit more comfortable when it comes to those buy rounds.
Us?
Oh, it seems like there's also parallels elsewhere. We've spoken about the close games, the OTs on the A stream, the B stream at the moment, the DRX. If you haven't watched and you want to go back.
What's happening on B stream?
Mute.
It's over.
If you haven't already, of course. DRX are currently rolling XLG. I think it's been a fairly dominant first half. 10-5 is the scoreline as we stand. And that was from a 9-1 start for DRX. So looking like they're coming in hot, of course.
We're going to watch NRG next. NRG next.
The youngster from the academy team of Flicker. So this will be his sort of first time on a main stage, but it seems like they're having a good time over there.
DRX won 13-6.
XOG
Guys, if you remember correctly,
struggle
we finished first half 6-6 when they started their game.
While we are in the...
We were at 6-6 when they started Pistol.
You don't want to switch away. I think I could be wrong, but I think DRX have got that one covered. Whereas here, I'm not making predictions. The only thing that Sentinels will be very happy about is going into overtime, there isn't another pistol.
Exactly, yeah. And you got to think about it. You know, BBL finding all those pistol wins, it's what
going
props
live,
them
going
up
live.
to this point when it comes to buy rounds.
2 pistols and a bonus win. So it's like...
Yeah, the third round and, yeah.
That's the thing. If you do that and don't win the map, you've trolled. Or your opponent's very good. In this case, I think it might be a little bit of both.
Without a doubt. Yeah, Sentinels, they've locked themselves in. That drone's gone far. Great read by Zelsis. He knows it had to be
nice
thrown from up
fucking
close.
shot,
That's
you
an
dirty
easy
dog.
pick onto Yumpy.
Holy
he thought he
shit.
cleared all of that
Zelsis
A-side.
continues to
no one
surprise me every
outside
single
of BO1
time.
had stepped in, and the opening pick goes to Sentinels as a result.
A huge start. They haven't really had an opportunity to be in the lead in this game for, I believe, maybe right at the beginning. They were like 4-4, 4-3, something like that. Managed to have a decent
ain't
start,
even Radiant?
but
Bro, you don't have to be
BBL
good.
sort of been
You don't have to be
running
Radiant
away
to be
with it,
good.
at
I'm
least
not
in the
Radiant
second
either,
half.
bro.
11, though, was their
What?
main pain point when it came to the defense, having to deal with this man and what has been an incredible performance. 28 kills, but he's definitely going to need a couple more, and they are being very careful of any
What the fuck is
smoke.
this?
The biggest though sociable still
Oh my
plans
God.
to try and push this, and I like that. They smoke off the dart. He goes swinging, and that's a spike down. Looks for a little more. A 2-for-1
Oh my
bargain
goodness
deal.
gracious,
30 seconds.
what a
Now with 30
play.
seconds left, they've been delayed so much, they kind of have to go back.
Yeah, back into Levin. Problem is, BBL have sent players to the other side of the map expecting that rotation. Levin's gonna have to stand strong, already finds his first. Dash out, info is good. He spotted at least one, it could be both. And with 12 seconds left, they need
Wow.
to push forward.
10 seconds
Through
left.
the wall, and it doesn't work out for Bang.
Time.
Zekin, barely enough time to get this plant in. In fact, he needs to get
Oh, he
sticking.
kills
And
him?
Prophet
Ah,
swings
he had a
just in
chance.
time to ensure he can't. Another match point going the way of BBL. Can they close it out this time, though?
All right, new pair of trousers to the caster room after that shot that Levin just hit. That man must spend hours a day on aim training, because all of
That
these
shot on
are
the
pretty
rope was
nice. Give me
sick.
this one.
That was insane.
Like, nah,
10
nah,
seconds
that's a breed that only shows up in Turkey. You don't get that anywhere else. That is
Turkish aim, bro. We can't be stopped.
And well, from what was a solid start to the round, a decent read, you can see how pumped
Oh
up
my God,
they are on
oh
the
my
other side,
God,
and some
oh my God, oh my
frustration
God, oh my God,
sinking
oh
in
my
for
God,
Sentinels.
oh my
They know
God.
coming into this match,
Everyone chill,
this
everyone
is
chill,
the
everyone chill, it's
squad
all
of
cool.
BBL never
Oh my
making it to an international event before, winning the qualifier. They didn't get through on that sort of EMEA top 2. That was, of course, Fnatic and Heretic. So this for them is realistically a matchup they'd be expecting to win, and they have hit a blockade time and time again.
Well, so many players on the other side. It's their first time being on that international stage. For Sentinels, absolutely not the case. This is an experienced squad, and they talked about it on the desk.
Oh my God,
a squad
everyone's
that you
tweaking out
expect
right
more
now.
from than
Emotions
the result
are
in
high,
Toronto.
right, chat?
But the reality is,
Emotions
you
are
look
high,
at
I
that,
can
as you
see
said,
it.
Tom, it's number 1
Nah,
and number
this
2
is-
that you
this is
lost to.
fucked.
You look at it and you go,
Focus.
okay, we got unlucky with how the bracket played out, with how everything was set up.
Sorry, just Flicker has just like done an MVP performance on his debut for DRX. That's nuts. Like, it really is. We've got such a great shot on our hands. I'm having to look at what's going on the other side.
We talk about an MVP performance, Tom. Levin, the rookie, the one that's up against one of the best in the world in the form of Zekin. He's on 30 kills already with one round left to play. Potentially, if this goes to BBL, it's 14-12. It's locked in. It's their dub, and Sentinels with elimination on the line again. Another international where they fall down early.
So this is going pushing. He's
What the
definitely
fuck
been
are you
spotted. That's
doing?
not the start they were looking for. They've been able to get some decent openers over the last few rounds, but even still, there's been the fight back, so having a deficit is a problem, and there is... No, I was going to say there's no
it's over.
escape. Nearly escaped. Even still, though, a 2-man advantage.
Mid.
BBL with a chance to close this.
Poison's gone.
A
One more
squad
mid.
that's long looked for their crown, and this will be a step
Ooh,
in the right
careful.
direction. A debut on the international stage, and a victory just
more
one
kills.
round away. A couple picks, and it's left to John QT, the man to do it all. Levin, the one to close it out. An MVP performance from that man. We didn't know what to
Fuck,
expect
that loss
up
hurt.
against
That loss hurt.
international
Fuck,
opposition,
that loss hurt.
but he delivered.
I'm not gonna lie,
even better
that loss-
than he does regionally.
that was a bad one.
Unbelievable.
No, that's a man
that loss hurt more than it should have. That loss hurt more than it should have, it feels
when
like.
they needed it. And as I said, like, you win that initial best of 1, you get a chance at 2 different best of 3s.
That's
I'd
what
also
it feels
say
like.
coming into this with Sentinels being the favorites, you now get a chance to, well,
maybe I'm
play
overreading
versus
it.
someone else to get into that playoff stage, which I think for BBL would be a huge achievement in itself. And then also, even if you are defeated, you then fall back down and, let's be honest, probably play Sentinels again. But even still, what a way to kick off the tournament, and an absolute banger of a first map for
Dog
us.
shit format, by the way.
Banger of a second map for all of you at home.
I mean, you gotta say,
it.
the dark horse of BBL really hitting their stride here today. I've always been a big NA fan, Tom. You know me, so it's a heavy heart that I see them win down on that stage. But Forza BBL, it's
fucking
time to
dog
send
shit
this
format,
down to the
dude.
stage where Fancy is standing by with your MVP of that game. It's Levin.
Thank you very much. We're back on stage with
What are
Levin
the
of
chances
BBL
we play BLG
after an
next?
amazing upset.
Is there, well,
so I have your first question with you on our Amazon interview. You guys
Amazon
are
interview is crazy.
First time on an international stage. So how did you prepare for this?
I mean, we just spent a long time. We prepared a lot of things. We worked so hard, literally. We give everything.
Who's holding the mic?
Then we are so happy. It's our first win, and we are happy. We are enjoying.
Absolutely, you guys are off on a great start, but you're facing DRX on your first BO3 in the tournament. So how do you feel?
I'm feeling good, actually. I mean, I'm not feeling too much things. We will just play our game normally. We are ready. We will see.
All right, best of luck to you. You guys are off on an amazing start, and let's see what happens next. Back to the studio.
Oh shit, we played bad, bro. I'm not gonna lie. We lost both pistols. Considering we lost both pistols, it wasn't that bad, but damn. I mean, I definitely played better, truthfully. Oh, that loss hurt though.